Vídeo inédito para vocês aqui no canal da Tampa Bay Real Estate. Hoje eu vou apresentar esta casa super moderna, localizada em Gulfport, pertinho da praia, e vou também apresentar mais uma especialista do nosso time, a Christina Williams. A especialidade da Christina é trabalhar com investidores internacionais que buscam imóveis aqui na região de Tampa Bay. Eu vou perguntar para ela quais são os 3 principais pontos importantes para quem investe aqui na região. Ela vai responder para mim em inglês, esse bate-papo vai ser em inglês, mas fique tranquilo que eu vou colocar a legenda para vocês e eu tenho certeza que vocês vão gostar desse conteúdo. Hi, Christina. How are you?
Hello, Karina. I'm great. How are you?
Thank you for bringing me to this beautiful property. I already love what I see here in the Gulfport community.
I'm glad you like it. My name is Christina. I'm with Tampa Bay Real Estate, and I specialize in working with international buyers. And today we're in this tranquil neighborhood of Gulfport, which is south of Pinellas County near St. Pete.
And I love that you brought me here in Pinellas County because a lot of people are interested in staying near the beaches because that's what the tourists want to see, and that's the quality of life and lifestyle that a lot of Brazilians resonate with. And I can see that this is the type of construction that Brazilians love. So Christina, I told him that I was going to ask you 3 points that are very important to any investor.
Sure.
Since you work with international investors, Christina, so let's get to the point. Tell me, number 1 thing investors look for when they buy property here in the Tampa Bay area.
Sure, it's not a secret that every investor is looking for ROI, which is return on investment. So they're looking for the area where they will get most out of their investment. Mm-hmm. So Pinellas County definitely has those areas where it's great, places and pockets of the county where it's going to bring you that amount that you're looking for. Mm-hmm. And of course, when we get to the next points, I'll tell you more about why that is and what other points are so attractive for investors.
One thing that I loved is this bonus, because you could do here like a little cafe area, or even if you drink and you want to do a wine cellar, I mean, endless possibilities.
Absolutely.
I love this extra
It's like a little
space.
secret room here.
Yes.
We can, do anything you want, really. Utilize it however you want.
So the garage is in the back.
Right.
And what I've noticed already is that even though the garage is through the back, you still have a really nice yard.
Absolutely. Look
which
how
is
big
rare.
It is. Yes.
It's rare not only, especially for Pinellas County,
Definitely.
but usually for this type of construction, when the garage is in the back, you end up missing part of your yard.
Right.
But I love, like you said, there's no space that is not being well
utilized.
Yes, I love it. What would be the second point, very important for investors?
I would say it's definitely potential for appreciation. Every investor is looking for it. And of course, we don't have a crystal ball. We can't make a prognosis of what's going to happen next year. But we know for sure in this county, Pinellas County, it's definitely one of those areas where appreciation,
higher possibility
of it, definitely.
Yes. So we talked about ROI, return on investment. We talked about appreciation, the importance of a potential for it. And what would be the third point?
The third point, I would say rentability. Of course, if this is that type of investor who wants to, buy and rent out, they're looking for it. They're looking for numbers and they're looking for areas with high potential for rentability. And definitely this area, because you're so close to the beach, and in Pinellas County, in some pockets, you can do short-term rentals. Just have to, of course, do your due diligence and know that where to get that information for. And I also have the group of specialists that I can recommend to my investors, beginning from long or short-term property managers to painters to handyman, people like that. So it's definitely help, especially if you're out of state or out of country investor. So Pinellas County definitely is one of those places where you're always going to have a good rental potential.
All right, so Christina, we talked about ROI, return on investment, we talked about appreciation, and you mentioned now rentability, how important it is for an investor to be able to rent the property they're buying. And I love that she mentioned that because a lot of our Brazilian clients are traditionally buying in Orlando, in Miami, but I love that we're now being able to bring a new alternative, a new way of investing in properties here that you can do short-term rental, that you can monetize while you're not using the property, maybe with family and friends during vacation. But then when you're in Brazil or when you're somewhere else, this property is being rented, it's generating dollars. So Christina, if you sold this house to a Brazilian investor, who would rent this property? Who are the tourists or who would be their clients?
What's great about this area is that it's not only touristy area. There's also families with children, or there are people coming from Canada for, on vacation, like we call them snowbirds. They come in here for winter season. So that's why some areas you can do short-term rentals, some areas you can do only seasonal rentals. It all depends. We have about 24 small cities within Pinellas County with their own ordinances and regulations as far as rentals. So we'll definitely do our due diligence on that. But there are options. So it's not just long-term rentals. You can do seasonal or short-terms as well, which is definitely adds more options to your investor clients.
So that should be another point that would be very important for investors.
Exactly.
Having options. Christina, we're near the water, which is a wonderful thing to be close to the best beaches in the US. But people are usually concerned about flooding, about hurricane. Tell me about how this home is protected against hurricanes and what kind of flood zone are we in?
Absolutely. So this particular home is in an X flood zone, which is you're not in a flood zone, so there's no risk for flooding. But it's Florida, so of course we don't know if that might change or anything like that. But this is zoned for X flood zone, which is already a great point. Another great point is that this builder already builds hurricane-proof windows, which is another great thing for Florida, especially for getting an insurance. So that will save you a good amount of money just because you have those types of windows.
All right, so you mentioned to me that you had a fourth point, because I asked you for 3 points, but you said that there is one that is very important. What would it be?
Definitely. So it looks like it's going to be point number 5 now because we just came up with one, so it's great. The more the better, right? My original 4th point was definitely resale, potential for resale. Every investor, doesn't matter if it's somebody who is wants like a short-term hold or a long-term hold for the property, they're always looking for potential resale. So this area is great in that because, again, there's not that many homes for sale and inventory. So it's definitely going to not only appreciate, but also will be great to sell in the future. So much potential, so much demand in Tampa Bay in general. Of course, if we're looking at different areas, it will be a little bit different from the other areas, but definitely in Pinellas, it's a lot of demand and not that many listings for sale. So I think demand will always be here.
So in Pinellas County, one thing that is very important to understand is the characteristics of each place. So location. Absolutely. Talking to a specialist is very important. And when you are familiar with Pinellas County, you know that there isn't much land left to be built. So stay tuned for next video where Christina is going to show us another opportunity here in Pinellas County.